Okay guys, okay friends, we are on the next episode now. It turns out that I actually recovered the files, so I slotted them in there anyway if things are a little bit confusing on the last video or so. Starting with gold, so quite interesting really, the PA has remained relatively stagnant since the last vid, and we'll get into exactly what happened and where reactions occurred. What we can see on the macro here on the 4 hourly, and then we can go into the lower time frames into the micro. Anyway, what we've seen is the price drive on the daily come straight into the band. We had the rejection here, and I've put the blue ray on the base of this daily candle because it's a prominent spike, and I took that from the 4 hourly. I'll show you that in a second. Price pushed back to the upside, and then we had the other bearish engulfing, which is whipped price back down. Gold is looking relatively weak right now. Okay, gold is looking relatively weak. Price is stagnant at the moment on the daily. However, I do have my eye on the bearish engulfing. If we come into the 4 hourly, what we can clearly see is that the prominent high which was formed over here on the 4 hour, the huge spike that came through, it tested the lows, boosted through the 4 hour high, and from there onward we just more or less rolled over, bearish engulfing, bringing the price back down. And we also have a 3 pin formation, 1, 2 and then 3. Price then tests into the boundary of the 4 hourly once, twice, and then we have the momentum candle bringing price all the way from upside 1460 psychological level right there into the lower band, once again the 4 hour band. Price then taps to the absolute T the 4 hour key level. Okay, look at this, 4 hour key level. Price moves back to the upside, retests that area. Then we have the bullish engulfing that's come from the band and tested right here. You can see the upper boundary of the 4 hour. So at the moment we're ranging in between the band, the upper 4 hour area here, and then the lower 4 hour area right here. So you can see the accuracy of our levels and how we're really printing solid confluences. What we can then see is a spike into the high, then price is just flailing around at the moment. There's 20 minutes left on this 4 hour bot. Will price cover the momentum of the previous candle wick? Who knows, let's see. But we are trapped, and gold will make a very, very big move soon. I'm pretty sure of that. But for now, lower area of support, higher area of resistance, and the volume is relatively low on these few candles. Now, let's have a look what we can put together. Oh, sorry, last thing to note right there, the 1450 price spike. I've placed that and I've copied and pasted it over to the micro chart. Okay, so let's just piece a few things together. Now, I put these drawings on earlier. I'll explain those in a minute. But look over here. Okay, let's zoom out. So we had the Thursday USA low, which was a prominent area because it was the low of the week. And the reason I've kept this area on from last week is because we can clearly see a price breakthrough, and the price broke down below that. Okay, so I've kept that area on. Now, if we just zoom out and look at the scope of the PA for the week, we can see that prices remain below the Thursday low. On the last video where I'm going over gold, we can see that we rebounded from this area. We made the price spike into 1450, and then the market rushed and rallied back into the higher areas. We have one area here, which was the Asia low, which was respected once, twice. We've already covered that on the previous video. But we burst through that, and then we reached into the new highs, which are the Thursday USA low right here. Okay. With that being said, price pulled back. Okay, so look at the hourly at this time. Hourly, we had the huge bullish engulfing, the bull run, after spiking through our 4 hour area of support. Then we had momentum continuation to the upside, and price driven was a massive price drive here. This would be inducing so many traders long. Now that correlated with the macro, this is the result, 1, 2, okay, push, push. As you can see, there's a 3 pin pattern, 1, 2, 3 emerging, but then the bearish engulfing lines up with the bearish engulfing on the hourly. So again, always try to correlate the 4 hour and the hourly, and then go lower from there. So there's reason for entry right here if we just reacted to it. You can see on this candle and this candle how the spikes suggest momentum had weakened there and then. Then we came back into the Asia session over here. So we have shooting star, shooting star, shooting star, shooting star. And look on the hourly how price has responded once more to the Asia low right there. So we're back below it. Consolidation, consolidation. This area was well respected. If I go back to the 15-minute time frame for a moment. Okay, I printed on this Asia low. So at the Asia high at the top, I've took note of that by eye. However, I've then gone ahead and took note of the Asia low, and I brought that all the way across, because as we get into, I don't know why that is there, that should be there, about a few, 1 second. Okay, because as we get into the lows made, and then as we get into London, London respects the high, breaks the Asia low, reacts to it perfectly. 1, 2, breaks down, price breaks down into lower territory. Then what do we do? Okay, I've extended this area across. Price has given 2 opportunities. Well, I wouldn't really say the short opportunities, because I'll explain this in a moment. But what we see as we dump, okay, we dump in London from A to B, and then the US session makes a new low. Where does the US session make a low? Right on the 4 hourly. So this PA right here, guys, is a result of this there. There's that price spike. But then market whips swiftly back above the 4 hour area of support, and also back above the band, which is quite interesting. So what I did is simply went into the chart, because I'm looking for direction, focus and bias, and what to react to, more or less. So let's focus on this area of price. Number 1, I've also taken the US low, because we can see the low was printed 16.15, and then I've taken the area, and more or less we can maybe bring this across, because if gold decides to maybe dump to the downside, it could maybe react to this area once more. I put on the US high there as well, where we did break through, we reacted to that, and we bumped back into the previous Asia low right there. However, right now things are a little bit dead. The volume is dead, because we can tell the volume is dead because of the 4 hour PA. It's a couple dojis there, it's making up its decision. What I am wary about though is the the bearish engulfing on the daily. Okay, we can, you know, the price can be whipped back down. So what I'm looking for is, I've extended that US high, because we're now coming into the US session. So will gold react nicely in the US session to the previous US highs and then dump? Potentially it can do that. What I would look for is a reaction at this level. If not this level, maybe it can come to the next one. We've already tested that in 2 sessions today. Asia, London, look at the reactions. So we do have 2 areas for potential short trades and short setups. If we react from here, we could expect a new leg down into this area, maybe break that, who knows, we will react at the time. And looking at the hourly PA at the moment, as you can see here, we had the bearish engulfing bringing that down London. Then we had the US. This is the result of yesterday's US movement. But here we forcefully pushed, the market was forcefully pushed through the US high, but then reacted to the previous Asia. And look at the perfection of this on the hourly. Then again here on the London overlap, bang, today, 1, 2. Bearish engulfing, bringing the price back down. And now we're below the area. Can gold just tap into this? Can gold just tap into this? And I don't know why some of my areas keep moving. Please excuse me. Can get a little fiddly. Can gold tap into this area on the overlap? Maybe US brings this down. Maybe it's looking that way, to tell you the truth. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. But I hope that made sense. So tracking on gold this week has been pretty decent, to be fair. We can see massive reactions to our 4 hour area, which is really, really good. I'm hoping by now you can see the power of the simplicity and the fine detailing, and just building up the confluences from the macro and bringing that into the micro for trade setups. There's multiple trade setups here, straight off the spike and close back below. This is a classic. and looking at the candle formations that are formed near the highs and lows and taking that with a bias of what we see on the higher time frames. This was a phenomenal move yesterday. That was really cool, and this was an easy move as well on gold into the last Thursday low, which I've brought across. So the pattern just continues to re-emerge. Let's go to GBP AUD. GA, wow. Okay, so on the last video I did have a note, but I deleted somehow. The last video we were here, if you remember, this was the candle that we were on, and there was 7 minutes left of the candle. I was expecting, if we broke below this area and closed below, I was expecting a downside move. But in the last few seconds, the candle whipped back to the upside and showed us this hammer formation and rejected this area. And again, I've explained these areas on the last video. Boom, easy buy. Look what happened. The momentum forcefully pushed through this band. We reacted to it with sheer beauty, if you will, from that low over there, which has been pretty significant for the week. You can see all of the reactions that have been happening here, from the macro areas to the micro areas, and then momentum just continued to push up. Where did it push up into? Well, number one, momentum was strong here on the 4 hourly. We broke back through the 4 hour liquidity band, which you can see, and then the market absolutely went for it. The market stalled at the highs, and if I was to copy and paste the macro scale, okay, sorry, right, copy, let's paste this over to the right hand side. It's not working for some reason. Why aren't you working? Let's try another method. Strange, it's not working. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the crosshair where this area is. So look where my crosshair, I have got my crosshair and my finger more or less right on the 4 hour area. Look at the crosshair on the right hand side. If you see this run right here, look at where the spikes are left. 1, 2, 3, 4 spikes, and that is bang on where the 4 hour area is, okay, just here. The market breaks it, retests it to the absolute T, also runs into the higher band area, which is all the way from last week, a very, very significant point. Chart isn't loading for whatever reason, but you can see that on the other video. And then for, excuse me, I am going higher, and then boom, massive breakout, easy buy. Easy buy, look at that candle, huge momentum. We made the highs, and where did the highs form, okay? We didn't react very well to this. We broke straight through it. Currently, we can see that market on the macro 4 hour, maybe he's going to create a shooting star. Let me just see why. Countdown to bar close. Maybe I should have to refresh the chart or something. The laptop's been on for quite a while. But it's creating a potential shooting star now. But here is the session high, okay, for the US. So what I've done, I've taken that US session high, and look what we've seen today. We've gone through Asia, slowly but surely, just trading back up to that high after a swift pullback, and then the low is also here. So what I can do with the low is I can pull the area across and see these could be potential zones in which we could trade from. So on the overlap, boom, boom, shooting star on the overlap there, going into London today. On the 15-minute time frame, we've respected this area. I do see GA maybe flailing around a little bit. It's in no man's land at the moment, to tell you the truth. Okay, chart doesn't want to play with me today. It's in no man's land at the moment. Let's just do a quick refresh. Please work. Okay, so, okay, shit. That's just changed everything. I'm so sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. My chart wasn't loaded. What a guy. Okay, cool. So anyway, what I was just explaining there, look, we've had a fucking sell-off. Wow, look at this. This makes this video 10 times better. We sold off, we broke through. Look at the reaction we've had just there. Oh my God. And then we've reacted to that area once more that I've just drawn on. This is like some Picasso shit. Wow. But yeah, the shooting star, which was forming, didn't form as a shooting star. It was a green candle. However, there was weakness. And then we just broke back below. So what is next for GA? Let's look at the hourly. The hourly is just in pieces right now. The hourly is in pieces. It's reacting to this higher level that right there. Can you see here where the stop run was? Look at that. When I put my crosshair, bang! Wow, impressive. I love this. So, excuse my excitement. So what else is good? I think GA for now could potentially roll over, and that's why my thingy wasn't copying and pasting. There it is. See here now? That's where I copied and pasted that. Unfortunately, my chart wasn't loaded. Laptop's been having a few issues recently. It's really frustrating. Okay, so anyway, GA right now, we've come off the highs, perfection, boom, from 9140. That's a nice move down here. That's like an 80-90 pip move. But you can see the sheer perfection of the craft that we are building together. Now, if I go all the way back, that's that band there. You guys have been following the videos, simply put. So what is next for GA? Now, it's a little bit of a tricky one because we're now coming into the US session. What's gold doing right now? Messing around. US session starts in 10 minutes, friends. 5 minute, as you can see up here, 5 minute providing some opportunities there too. 5 minute run into the low. A 5 minute bump into the high. Because of, okay, let me try and lock this one down. What I would like to see on the hourly, I'm looking at this spike here on the hour, it's quite weak. I would need price to pull up and show me signs of momentum, if you will, and maybe even break back above here. So if GA could break back above, retest that, and then start to ping off to the upside, I could expect this level to be reached one more time. And if I just go over here, but again, look at the 4 hourly. However, on the 4 hour, this just looks like a pullback move. I can't put my finger on this one yet. The daily is looking shit, though, excuse my language. The daily is looking pretty shit. So for this daily candle to be worth something after this huge bullish engulfing yesterday, momentum needs to pull up and then give us, you know, US session needs to drag this back up. If we can get a nice strong close, but now you can see, look at the high spike there and look at how the price has reacted to that on the daily. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, cool, that's that. Let's check in tomorrow, Friday evening, as a little market recap. But again, get practicing, guys. Lots more to come. As I say, this is just like rinse and repeat. It's getting pretty damn easy.